That song, it's like a metaphor for my life. The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. God, how I hated that song as a young child and the horrifying game that went with it. Much like the selection process that came a bit later in life with dodgeball and kickball, the farmer game was all about picking the popular people. And like kickball and dodgeball, whenever anybody played farmer in the dell, I was always chosen last. In case you don't know, the game starts with said farmer who stands in the middle of the players. They hold hands and sing while circling. The farmer picks a wife, the farmer picks a wife. Hi ho, the dairy-o, the farmer picks a wife. And then the wife joins the farmer in the middle and more singing.
Wow. Right.
My dad is a doofus. He never grew up past 14 and careened from job to job, continent to continent, friendship to friendship. The family lore is that he felt like he dropped the ball with me, so he went all in with my younger brother. The truth is, Dad actually did drop me. I was 2, and he threw me in the air and failed to catch me. Big trust issues ever since, I suppose.
Oh dear.
The wife picks a child, the wife picks a child. Hi ho, the dairy-o, the wife picks a child. My traitorous mother. Yeah, she was my only friend, my one true companion in my younger years when we were in the Peace Corps in Ethiopia, where I was the only white child for 1,000 miles in any direction. Or when we sailed off recklessly around the world, son, with aforementioned idiot, in a glorified bathtub through pirate-infested waters with no money and no idea what we were doing. My traitorous mother, who abandoned us all one Christmas day. Mother, I can forgive, of course, but I can never undo the way it felt to lose her like wrapping paper on a box full of an empty lie. When Dad and Zach and I sailed away to Charlotte Amalie, all 3 of us sobbing as she disappeared into the horizon like yesterday's extinguished sun. My brother, well, he was always more of a challenger than a compatriot, cryptic, troublemaking, and more likely to be a foil to your plans. He likes to come up with clever ways to secretly make others suffer. So no companion for me anywhere in the family. The child picks a nurse, the child picks a nurse. Hi ho, the dairy-o, the child picks a nurse. Even when I was corralled with other children, I was always given my own work to do in the back of the room, alone. Algebra in 3rd grade, college reading in 4th. Every day I had something called remedial education with a man I swear now was Mr. Rogers. I thought it was because I was so rowdy in class, and in a way the extra tutoring, well, it was something to keep me busy, but also because I had tested extremely high on a number of academic meters at age 7, and my parents wanted me to stay challenged. In 5th grade, I learned not to show off my obviously superior lexicon when Ronnie Bissell insisted a certain golden droid was named CP3O. In an unsupervised moment of 5th grade, Ronnie and I were standing on our wobbly metal and formica desk seats as we duked it out metaphorically. When I told him, obviously, anyone with a brain knew it was C3PO and not CP3O. Well, Ronnie Bissell did not have much of a brain, but he did have some brawn. And momentarily, I found myself airborne before I felt my head connecting squarely with my desktop. As the twin black eyes of a raccoon faded, I nursed the realizations that, oh, 1, I should not argue with idiots. They like it, and I get hurt. And 2, I should never, ever stand on my desk seat. The next year, in 6th grade, I was bludgeoned with my IQ by a frustrated middle school teacher. It's not my fault that I was so impulsive and clever, and not his place to use my astronomical test scores as an excuse for punishment. That was my last year of real school, but before the idiot and the traitor took my soulless brother and I out to live out of school and onto Sahai for an extended sailboat trip. Living at sea took me far away from all the Bissels in the world. Alone on the ocean, and then alone at Interlaken, a frozen boarding school in Michigan for the arts. And then my senior year, I was the lone American exchange student in Melbourne, Australia. Fair dinkum, mate. I'm a Yank. Even when I finally landed in a sea of genius at New College, I swiftly paired off with Steve, and we were unique as the gay couple for those years. And yeah, I suppose you could say I was finally no longer alone with Steve, but we'll get to that. The nurse picks a dog, the nurse picks a dog, hi ho the dairy-o, the nurse picks a dog. One thing I did learn in my lifetime of travels is that whenever I got a job someplace, I usually knew better than the boss almost immediately. And sadly, was also very willing to tell him. The boss hates that. I think that may be some of the problem with my father, too. At about age 7, I was already developmentally ahead of him. But I digress. As an adult, no longer in a school of national merit .9ers, I found myself thrust back into the world of Bissels. And worse yet, they vote. Well, while I cannot do much about that sad reality, I found 3 places, perhaps, where applied cleverness has come in useful, in dubious reverse order of worthiness. 1, I'm absolutely fantastic at timing my driving so that I hit every light and only very rarely have to stop when I drive. 2, I have built a business that allows me to isolate myself from the bacilli. And lastly, I've come to realize that it is utterly unimportant what the droid is called. CP30, is it? Don't care. In my towering ivory office, I can cast aspersions to an audience of conyers alone from the time Mikey and Steve leave until they commute back into my home business, building websites for the last 25 years. I can Zoom with clients and hire artists in other countries while hosting websites with backups in multiple states, all while staying in the comfort of my own space, wearing boxer shorts and toking on my dank weed. Yeah, it was better before Zoom when nobody could see up my home life. Yeah, for 30 years I've worked from home, alone. But I gotta tell you, the greatest lesson learned from travels and school and observing rich and poor is that the secret is not money, but what money can buy. So I value having this personal space, this mental room, this freedom to work my own hours and then break to do an online memoir workshop with Suze, the dramaturg in Maine, and Nil, the psychic in California, and Nal, the blacksmith in Virginia. The dog picks a cat. The dog picks a cat. Hi ho, the dairy-o, the dog picks a cat. But even among my so-called friends and family, the internet literati with whom I scribe weekly, and the very far reaches of Reddit, I see nobody who shares my political beliefs. I'm so far off in left field that I am no longer even on the playground, you know? I think food should be free, and housing, and education, and medicine, and transportation, and anything that's planted in the ground should be food for people or habitat for animals. And sure, you can have democracy and capitalism, but in that order, and only after every child is fed and clothed and educated and given a ukulele. And nobody, with the possible exception of Marianne Williamson, nobody agrees with me. I am utterly alone in this political arena of one. The cat picks a rat, the cat picks a rat, hi ho the dairy-o, the cat picks a rat. Well, back to Steve and Mikey. You'd think that with 2 husbands, one legal husband and one concubine, well, wait, he wants to be called a consort now. With a legal spouse and an illegal consort, there should be an awful lot of not aloneness. But really, we're just 3 adults who live together. And we can't even agree to put all the money in one pot and just take what we need. Guess whose idea that is? The rat takes the cheese. The rat takes the cheese. Hi ho, the dairy-o, the rat takes the cheese. Then finally, the last person chosen is always the cheese. And what happens when the cheese joins the group? They all leave. All those same wonderful people who've been gathering together, the farmer's wife, nurse, cat, all of them, they abandon the cheese. I would pray to be the rat, any mammal, even a rat. Just don't leave me. But I was always the cheese. And as soon as I joined the group, they all left. The cheese stands alone. The cheese stands alone. Hi ho, the dairy-o. The cheese stands alone. Oh well.
Oh,